All right, question of the week, MBLEx review number 35. Our question is, while performing a squat, during the descending phase of the movement, which of the following contractions are the quadricep muscles in? Is it going to be A, isometric contraction, B, concentric contraction, C, eccentric contraction, or D, agonistic contraction? One more time. While performing a squat during the descending phase of the movement, which of the following contractions are the quadricep muscles in? Is it going to be the isometric contraction, concentric contraction, eccentric contraction, or an agonistic contraction? So I'll give you a few moments to work on this one, and then we'll go ahead and head over to the explanation. All right, so in the community tab, I asked you, while performing a squat during the descending phase of the movement, which of the following contractions are the quadricep muscles in? And we had a great turnout here. We had 42 votes. 5% of you said it was going to be an isometric contraction. 52% of you said it was going to be a concentric contraction. 40% of you said it was going to be an eccentric contraction. And then 2% of you said it was going to be an agonistic contraction. And then thank you to the 18 people who liked this post. Now, I let you know that this is going to be a super advanced level question. This is a tough question, and a majority of you went with a concentric contraction. So let's see if this is the correct answer. Now let's take a look at this question one more time. While performing a squat, so the movement is a squat, during the descending phase, descending is a key word of the movement, which of the following contractions are the quadricep muscles in? So quadricep muscles are very important here. These are the muscles that we are looking at, and we want to know what contraction is taking place during the descending phase. So let's take a look at this. So we know that an isometric contraction is when a muscle is contracted but it is not moving. And so we are looking for the contraction that is during the descending phase of a squat. So isometric contraction is not the correct answer, because when we are descending, we are moving. So isometric contraction is not the correct answer. Now let's take a look at concentric and eccentric contractions. We know that a concentric contraction, the muscle's moving and it is shortening. So here at the elbow, when we are flexing, this is a concentric contraction because my biceps are shortening. So this is a concentric contraction. The muscle is shortening. Now when I extend at the elbow, bringing the arm in extension, my biceps are now lengthening. So this is an eccentric contraction. Now an agonistic contraction, an agonist we know is the prime mover, and it is the muscle that is shortening, but we really wouldn't refer to it as an agonistic contraction. So this is just put there as a distractor. So agonistic contraction is not the correct answer. So we are left with either a concentric contraction or an eccentric contraction. And so we have a 50-50% chance of getting this answer correct. And so let's look at this question one more time. We are looking for the contraction that the quadricep muscles are in during the descending phase of the movement, which is going to be a squat. So let's take a look at a squat. Here is the squat, and this is the upward movement, and here is the downward movement. So here's the ascending, and here is the descending phase. This is the one that we are looking at. Now, we know that the quadricep muscles are going to be in the anterior compartment of the thigh, and then the hamstring muscles are going to be in the posterior compartment of the thigh. We want to know what the quadricep muscles are doing. What is their contraction? Is it a concentric or is it an eccentric contraction? So let's take a look at a descending phase of the squat. So here is the descending phase of a squat. Now let's take a look at the ascending phase of a squat. Which contraction are my quadriceps muscles in? My quadricep muscles are in the anterior compartment of my thigh. What contraction is taking place? Well, the easiest way to figure this out is to figure out what the quadricep muscles do. So here is leg extension at the knee, at the tibiofemoral joint. And my quadricep muscles are going to extend the leg. So here, my quadricep muscles are shortening in leg extension. So let's take a look at this again. Here in leg extension, I am on the ascending phase of the squat. And so here my quadricep muscles are shortening because they are extending. Now let's take a look at the descending phase. So here during the descending phase, my quadricep muscles are lengthening. Remember that whenever I ascend, they are going to extend at the leg, but when I descend, they are going to lengthen. My quadricep muscles are in the eccentric contraction. And so the correct answer here is the eccentric contraction. When I perform a squat during the descending phase, my quadricep muscles are lengthening, which are going to be the eccentric contraction of this movement. 40% of you got this answer correct. Now, if you did not get this answer correct, I would encourage you to check out my Patreon page where I dive into this material. It's very important that you understand what a concentric contraction is, what an eccentric contraction is, what an isometric contraction is, and what an isotonic contraction is. If you have trouble with understanding what those are, I would encourage you to check out my Patreon page because you're definitely going to see those terms in the kinesiology portion of the MBLEx. So I would highly encourage you to check out my Patreon page if you did not get this answer correct. All right, y'all have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see y'all in the next question of the week. Y'all take care.